Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in this video we're going to talk about the statistical functions on the Texas Instrument 30XA calculator. In my previous two videos, I talked about the regular functions as well as the scientific functions on this particular calculator. And so in this video, I want to focus on the statistical functions. And in order to illustrate the different functions, I'm going to use this set of values. And let's say that this represents the score that a group of 8 students obtained on a quiz out of 10 possible marks. So one student got 8 out of 10, another got 5 out of 10, and so on. If we want to find the mean and standard deviation, which are the two most important parameters involving this set of data, you're first of all going to enter these values. In order to enter all of these, we're going to use this key right here. That's the summation symbol. So we're going to enter each one, and after entering, you press this key right here. You'll notice it says n equals. So the calculator is keeping track of the number of entries. Then we'll enter 5, and so on. So we're going to enter all of these values. After each one, we're going to press the summation. Last one. So notice it kept track. We've put in 8 values. In order to find mean, which has this notation, the X with the line above it means mean. We look for that on our calculator. It's the second function above x squared. In order to use that function, we need to use our second function and then press x squared. So in this case, the mean is 6.625. That represents the mean of all of those 8 scores. The next important parameter for this set of data is the standard deviation. And there are 2 standard deviation functions on the calculator. If you take a look above the x squared button, you'll have sigma x n minus 1. And then if you look above the division sign, you'll see sigma xn. So one of those is standard deviation for a population and the other is for a sample. This represents the standard deviation of a population. This represents the standard deviation of a sample. The formula for these two functions is slightly different, and that's because when you have a population, you know all of the values. And so when you're finding the standard deviation, you divide by the total number of values. However, when you're calculating standard deviation from a sample, you're making an estimate. You don't have the exact value because you're not using all of the values from the population. Because of the uncertainty, the formula divides by n minus 1 instead of n to allow a greater standard deviation. So let's find both standard deviations. First of all, we're going to assume that these values are a sample or a subset of the whole population. So in order to calculate the standard deviation of a sample, we're going to go second function and then press the square root button. And now let's calculate the standard deviation of a population. So assuming that these numbers represent the whole population. So again, we're going to go second function, but this time above the division sign. And you can see that the standard deviation for the sample is slightly larger than the standard deviation of the population. I just want to point out that you might notice that you have STAT on the display, and that appears as soon as you press that summation key. 2 other functions that you may use in formulas in statistics involve the sum of x and the sum of x squared. Sum of x simply means the sum of all of those x values, but instead of manually adding them, we can use this function, and that function is above this bracket. So we just go second function, press the parentheses or brackets, and we get 53. The sum of x squareds is the sum of the squares of each individual number. So if we were to square 8, 64, plus 5 squared, 25, plus 4 squared, plus 16, and so on, and add all of those up, we would get a total, and that function is above the end of the parentheses. So go second function, and we get 403. And you could check that. You could add all those values up to see if they're equal to 53, and you could add up the square of all of those and see if it equals 403. All of these functions are very useful and will save you time, but as your data set increases in size, these become even more important. I've now covered all of the functions on your Texas Instrument calculator. I hope you find this helpful.